Week number 2, West Branch hosting West Liberty. It is the throwback game, the big rivalry game here for our next non-district competition. West Branch 1-0, West Liberty coming in at 0-1. The Comets losing 27-0 against Tipton on Saturday. And Mike Quinlan joining us right now. Quinny, second annual throwback game, going to have the purple jerseys out again, and great tradition that was started last year, really celebrating the tradition and history of this program.
Well, yeah, and you got to give all the credit to Dave and Kathy McRath for coming up with the idea of selling the T-shirts to the kids and the family, and going out and raising the money for the jerseys that they're going to use every year. And obviously, if people didn't know, we were purple before the early 40s when we turned to red, and we were the polar bears. And so this is a way to honor those players that played, in that time, and it'll just be a neat tradition for years to come.
Well, and it's really cool this year that it falls with the West Liberty game, just because of so much of the history and tradition and this rivalry that you've got. Used to be the Armistice Day game, and just so many great memories throughout the years when these two teams get together.
Well, yeah, and it really doesn't matter whether it's non-district, district, or playoff or whatever. Whenever we play West Liberty, it's just it's a great game. It is without a doubt the biggest rivalry that West Branch has, and so I know that something the fans look forward to. The players understand the importance of it, and so yeah, this Friday night, be up at the Rose Bowl, because you won't want to miss this game.
It'll be very awesome with those purple jerseys once again. And the competition on the field, Jason Miller right now with us as well. And Jason, this is a West Liberty team, 0-9 last year. They got shut out in their opening game last weekend against Tipton, 27-0. Coach Jason Iskey taking over the helm and really trying to get things turned around for this program.
He is. That Tipton football team is a pretty good football team, and they returned 20 of the 22 starters they had last year, and a really good quarterback, kid that had 3,000 yards of total offense. So the score kind of surprised me that West Liberty didn't put any points on the board, but in that, they're trying to find an identity, just like everybody this time of year. The identity they're trying to find is the last 4 years, they've had to deal with trying to find a new quarterback. Josh Walshire, their quarterback this year, 4 consecutive years, the 4th consecutive starting quarterback. They probably would have had a guy for 2 years, but he'll be in this game starting as quarterback for the Bears, so there's a little bit of an emotional part in that as well.
Well, and that is something that, you throw in the rivalry game, and then you add the fact that Cooper Canning did transfer up here from West Liberty, and that just adds a little bit more fuel to the fire for both sides.
He's got some lifelong friends down there on that football team, but he's also probably got some guys that aren't real happy with him for the decision that he made, but that's football. When you get into football, nobody's really friends. You just play, and things are going to happen on a football field. You just play football, and the one thing that West Liberty is going to bring, Mike talked about it, the rivalry that these two teams have, the passion that these two teams have when they play each other. You can ask Mike about this. He was a part of it back in the 70s, and he's been seeing them a lot longer than I've been watching these games, right, Mike? There's just something different about this game that West Branch is they're 1-0, 42-7. West Liberty, I said, 27-0. Throw that away. This is a Hatfield McCoy kind of thing, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, I think you can just look at Iowa State, and not always does the better team win, and that's because it's a rivalry game, and you're talking about two teams that have been in the Eastern Iowa Hawkeye Conference, have played since the late 30s, probably early 30s. And it just continues, and if West Liberty wants to win one game on their schedule this year, it is a West Branch game. We're going to treat it as another game, a district game. I'm sure that's what Butch's mindset will be, but for the West Liberty kids and the West Liberty fans, this is their Super Bowl. This is what they're shooting for, and so West Branch is going to have to come ready to play.
So many times you hear the games that, the one team is heavily favored, and all of a sudden they don't really pay attention. They show up thinking they're going to win, and Jason, that's when upsets happen. And the Comets would love to do that here Friday night against the Bears.
They would, but I was at practice, and the coaches from West Branch are approaching it This is a football game. It's a rivalry game. They know there's going to be some emotion just from that standpoint. There's going to be some of that emotion because Cooper Koenig played for them for his whole life, basically, before this year. But getting into, from what you're going to see standpoint, from the Comets, you're going to see a lot of counters. You're going to see a lot of jet sweeps like they always do. They're going to set 3 wide, single to the backside, try to run some slants with that receiver on the backside. They'll go quads on one side, bring a guy, quads one side, receiver on the backside. He'll go in motion. They'll run a jet there. They'll try to get you to think he's going to have the ball once, and then the quarterback will spin and try to go the other way. They'll get 4 or 5 different guys carrying the ball. Walsh Arley mentioned their leading rusher is Chris McMichael at 11 carries, I think, for 54 yards in the first game. Evan Dalton's a guy you got to watch out for. What an athlete that kid. Great track runner. Just talking with his good friend Cooper Koenig, said he's probably the fastest kid on the team. So they've got some athletes. You got to sit your keys. If the ends have a good day, they catch the counters, they catch the jet sweeps. I think the Bears can have a successful night.
Well, it should be a very good one. Again, it's the throwback game. Bears going to be wearing their purple jerseys. 7 o'clock kickoff from the Little Rose Bowl Friday night, West Branch and West Liberty.